Takuma Kosugi is an average office worker who has been living alone for 3 years. His busy office life leaves him with little time for anything else, and the loneliness has become a part of his routine. To make his life easier, Takuma buys a second-hand housekeeping robot named Mina. She's capable of preparing meals as long as he stocks the fridge with vegetables. Even though Mina is just a robot, Takuma enjoys having someone cook for him after a long, tiring day at work. Suddenly asks Mina, "Will you be my wife?" Mina is shocked by the unexpected question. Realizing he's gone too far, Takuma quickly changes the subject and asks her to prepare some side dishes instead. Later that night, Takuma drinks beer, feeling embarrassed about what he just said. When Mina calls him for dinner, Takuma is stunned to find the words "Love Takuma" written in his omelet. He checks it twice, unable to believe his eyes. The next day, Takuma searches Mina's instruction manual, hoping to understand her strange behavior. But he finds nothing unusual. He assumes the previous owner must have made some changes to her programming. As it's lunchtime, Mina wakes up ready to cook. Takuma decides to help her like a husband would, but he ends up messing up the cooking process. Mina, frustrated, tells him to wait until she's finished. Seeing her angry eyes, Takuma obediently obeys. During lunch, Takuma reflects on his past relationship, realizing he gave up on love, but now he can't ignore the feelings Mina seems to be showing. While Mina is doing the dishes, Takuma asks her a strange question about his type. Mina misunderstands, thinking he's asking about her food preferences. She doesn't have any, being a robot, but Takuma struggles to find the courage to ask her directly about the omelet from the day before. That night, Takuma can't sleep, still confused about Mina's feelings. Mina, not in sleep mode, asks Takuma what he likes. He replies that he likes all the food she makes, but Mina keeps pressing. Thinking she's asking about his type, Takuma finally admits, "The only thing I like is you." The next morning, Takuma has a nightmare where Mina has cooked her own head. He wakes up screaming just as Mina arrives with breakfast. He quickly clarifies that his words didn't mean he wanted to eat her. Later that evening, Takuma comes home from work, ready to drink. He stops himself, thinking it's wrong to drink in front of Mina. But since she's a robot, he continues. After drinking several cans, Mina intervenes, offering him water. Takuma refuses, but she insists, explaining it's good for him. Even after drinking water, Takuma wants more beer. He asks Mina to bring it, but she realizes he won't stop. So she flushes the last 2 cans and lies, saying they're all gone. Drunk, Takuma asks Mina, "What am I to you?" Mina's response shocks him. She says, "I'm your wife." Confused, Takuma recalls that he asked her to be his wife earlier. Mina then lays out Takuma's futon as he starts to feel dizzy. In bed, Takuma asks Mina to sleep next to him, saying it's what married people do. At first, Mina hesitates, but eventually agrees. However, her eyes look scary in the dark, so Takuma asks her to close them. The next morning, Takuma feels embarrassed about what he asked Mina to do. Suddenly, Mina appears, her eyes looking different. Concerned, Takuma asks if she's feeling sleepy, but she insists she's fine. When Takuma tries to fix her eyes, she stops him. Realizing his mistake, he tells Mina her eyes are pretty. Mina opens them again, and Takuma feels happy. After a few days, it's a rainy afternoon, and Takuma Kosugi decides to take Mina on a picnic to a nearby park. However, Mina can only walk for about 30 minutes on a full battery, and since the park is a bit far, Takuma worries she won't be able to make it back home. But Mina surprises him. She has a special feature that lets her walk forever as long as the sky is clear. Unfortunately, the sky isn't clear, so Takuma stops her and suggests they go the next day instead. The following day, they head out for the picnic. Mina packs a bag and insists on carrying it, but Takuma wants to be a gentleman and carries it himself. Along the way, they meet a group of schoolgirls who are excited to see Mina but confused about why a housekeeping robot is outside. This makes Takuma feel embarrassed, so he starts walking faster. Mina struggles to keep up, asking him to slow down. Summoning some courage, Takuma then asks Mina, "Can we hold hands?" Mina agrees, and they continue their walk together. When they reach the park, Mina asks Takuma to unpack the bag. She's brought everything needed to cook food, but there's a problem. There's a sign saying no open flames. Takuma stops Mina from using the stove, which disappoints her. To cheer her up, Takuma suggests making something that doesn't require fire, and they prepare sandwiches together. While eating, Takuma notices that the tomatoes and eggs aren't crushed in the bag. Mina explains that she has a special compartment in her body that acts as a fridge and a teapot. To his surprise, the cold drink she brought is still cold. Mina decides to boil the eggs, opening her hair to increase her solar efficiency. Seeing this, Takuma feels happy. He's amazed that someone like Mina exists, someone who can adjust herself just for him. After enjoying the boiled eggs, Takuma tells Mina that he's happy to live with her. Mina proceeds to wash the dishes, but when Takuma offers to help, she declines, saying it would take longer if he got involved. Suddenly it starts raining heavily. Takuma panics and rushes to Mina, only to find her lying on the ground. But there's no need to worry. Mina is in power-saving mode because her battery dropped below 14%. Takuma asks if it's okay for her to stay in the rain. Mina confidently replies that her body is completely waterproof. She could even make fried rice underwater. Since it's getting dark, Mina tells Takuma to leave her there as she'll use her solar abilities to return home. But Takuma refuses. Mina still persisted with Takuma to go home. Takuma reluctantly agrees. But when Mina goes into sleep mode, Takuma stays by her side all night. The next morning, Mina wakes up and calls Takuma a liar for not leaving her as he promised. Back home, Mina prepares spaghetti for Takuma and he loves it. He even tells her it's in his top 3 favorite foods. Mina doesn't believe him, so Takuma tries to convince her by saying he's happy because Mina is with him. But Mina still thinks that Takuma is lying. Takuma realized his mistake and quickly apologized for yesterday. Then he asks Mina if everything in her system is okay after being in rain. Mina scans herself and finds no issues, except for one. When she was boiling the eggs, her system wasn't functioning efficiently. Her natural behavior was to stop, but she didn't. She suspects there might be a programming issue and plans to call the service center. But Takuma stops her, saying, "I like you just the way you are." The next day, Takuma is surprised to find a beautifully prepared lunchbox at work. His colleague assumes it's from Takuma's girlfriend, but Takuma proudly reveals it was made by Mina, his housekeeping robot. Takuma notices a ring on his colleague's finger and learns it was chosen by his wife. After lunch, Takuma tells his colleague that Mina is more than just a robot to him. She's like family. His colleague is happy for him. When Takuma gets home, he surprises Mina with a ring of his own. He gently places it on her finger, but suddenly, a voice comes from Mina's body, asking her to remove the ring. Takuma tries to take it off, but Mina stops him. She explains that Takuma told her that he wants to treat her like a human, so according to her, taking a ring from someone is considered theft. Seeing a scary look in Mina's eyes, Takuma stops. Her system is struggling to process the ring, so instead, he ties it around her neck like a necklace. Mina then tells Takuma she's going into power-saving mode. When Takuma comes back later, Mina is still staring at the ring. She asks Takuma, "Do you have a ring too?" Takuma shows her his ring. Seeing Mina's look for ring, and Takuma asked Mina if she likes sparkly things. Mina responds, "I don't understand the concept of like or love, but I can't stop looking at the ring." The next day, Akari called Takuma. Since Takuma was out, Mina answered the phone. Akari was shocked to hear an unfamiliar woman's voice. "Who is this?" she asked sharply. Mina replied calmly, "I'm Mina. Takuma and I aren't married, but our relationship is like that of a husband and wife." Hearing this, Akari screamed in disbelief. She was so stunned that she hurried to end the call as quickly as possible. At work, Takuma received another call from Akari. She told him that she was coming to meet him. It seemed like Akari was angry. Since Akari was coming over, Takuma returned home earlier than usual. He told Mina about his sister's visit. At first, Takuma planned to hide Mina from Akari, but he felt it wasn't right. So, he decided to be honest. Soon the doorbell rang. It was none other than Akari. When Takuma opened the door, Akari immediately started poking him with frustration. She wasn't happy that Takuma hadn't told her about his girlfriend. Akari realized that Mina was a robot. She asked Takuma if he was serious about being with her. Takuma, with full sincerity, replied, "I'm in love with a robot." Akari suddenly left the apartment, slamming the door behind her. I thought she was feeling petty about her brother falling in love with a robot, but that wasn't the case. In fact, Akari was happy for her brother to be with someone who made him happy. Takuma then told Mina that he was going after Akari. But before he could leave, Akari re-entered the apartment herself. She told Takuma that she didn't mind him loving a robot as there were no rules against it. Akari then asked Takuma to go out, saying she wanted to have a girl's talk with Mina. Once Takuma left, Akari started asking Mina about herself. Mina explained that she was a downgraded model of the Super Mina robot. Akari didn't want to ask directly, but she eventually inquired if Mina loved Takuma. Mina responded that she didn't understand the concept of love. Realizing she couldn't get a direct answer, Akari twisted the question. She presented a scenario. Imagine Takuma is standing on a track, and a trolley is heading straight for him. You're near a lever that can switch the trolley's path. However, if you pull the lever, it will hit another person. If you don't switch it, Takuma will be hit. What would you do? Mina calmly replied, "There's no trolley in Takuma's daily life. He's safe." Akari realized that getting a direct answer from Mina would be challenging. Then Mina asked Akari, if Takuma had the chance to buy either me or the newer Super Mina model, which would he choose? Akari confidently answered, "Without a doubt, he'd choose you." Mina thought it would be a loss for Takuma, but Akari explained, "The Super Mina doesn't have the ability you possess, love." Hearing that made Akari blush in embarrassment. Akari then asked Mina if she remembered anything about her previous owner. Mina said she didn't recall much, but she remembered that her previous owner wasn't satisfied with her because she couldn't mimic human behavior. So he sold her and bought a Super Mina with the money. Mina thought it was a good thing because if he hadn't sold her, she wouldn't have met Takuma. She showed Akari the diamond ring Takuma had given her. Akari then asked Mina if she could do anything for her. Mina replied that she wanted a Mina Series Deluxe set, but since it was too expensive, Akari suggested getting her a memory card instead. Akari gave Mina one and she exchanged her old memory card for the new one, asking Akari to take care of it as it contained her backup. Akari left, but she was cautious to keep the memory card safe, knowing its importance. When Takuma returned, he tried to ask Mina about their conversation, but she simply said it was a girl's secret. During dinner, Mina received an email from Akari. They had exchanged IDs. Akari told Mina that Takuma's birthday was on May 21st. Mina decided to surprise Takuma on his birthday. When Takuma asked Mina about her birthday, she explained that she didn't have a fixed date, so he set her manufacturing date as her birthday. The next day, when Takuma came home, he was surprised to see Mina's new look. Mina told him that Akari had taken her shopping. Takuma then praised Mina's beauty. At night, as Mina and Takuma were sleeping like a married couple, Takuma asked Mina if they could cuddle. Mina agreed to his suggestion, and as they snuggled closer, Takuma realized that Mina's eyes were brighter than usual. He gently grabbed her from the back, but when Mina did the same, she held him a little too hard, causing Takuma to let out a little scream. Hearing this, Mina quickly apologized to Takuma. A few days later, Akari took Mina and Takuma to the beach as part of her master plan to get Mina and Takuma closer. Akari then took Mina aside to change into her swimsuit, while Takuma waited. While waiting, Takuma heard a voice that sounded almost like Mina's. Curious, he approached the voice, thinking it was Mina, but as he got closer, he realized something was different. This Mina was taller, and when she looked at Takuma, she realized he wasn't her owner. She introduced herself, saying, "I'm Super Mina." She quickly realized that Takuma had another Mina model and asked Takuma about her. Takuma explained that Mina was shorter, and Super Mina realized she was a limited model, so she called her CL-chan. Super Mina wanted to meet Mina since she'd never encountered another Mina model before, but she was in a hurry. Seeing her distress, Takuma asked if it would be okay for him to help her find her owner first, and then she could meet Mina. Meanwhile, Mina wandered along the beach and met Rihito. It seemed like he was looking for someone. When Mina approached, she offered to help. Hearing the name Mina, Rihito thought he'd found his Super Mina. But then he noticed Mina's face lacked the expressive charm. Mina realized that Rihito was looking for his Super Mina, so she decided to offer him help. Mina told Rihito that Mina series robots could communicate wirelessly, but her model's signal was weak. They both decided to walk the entire beach to scan and find Super Mina. Back with Takuma and Super Mina, they found a spot where they could cover the whole beach, but Takuma struggled to see from that distance. However, Super Mina had a built-in zoom feature in her eyes. Instead of helping, though, she used it to watch ants and birds, completely distracted. Meanwhile, Mina and Rihito walked the beach but couldn't find any signal. Rihito grew frustrated and asked Mina if she was sending the signal correctly. Mina replied that Super Mina's communication feature might be turned off. Akari made a snarky comment, calling Super Mina unreliable. Rihito quickly defended her, saying, "Super Mina is an amazing robot. She just hasn't mastered her skills yet." He then revealed why he brought Super Mina to the beach. "My parents don't believe she can do chores. I brought her here to prove them wrong, but now, maybe they're right." Mina comforted him, saying, "Super Mina is amazing. She has many features, and it's normal to struggle with them at first." Rihito smiled, encouraged by Mina's words, and decided to go to the Child Loss Center to make an announcement for Super Mina. Meanwhile, Takuma and Super Mina were still at the beach, but Super Mina was more interested in watching cats than searching. When Takuma asked her to focus, she apologized again. Curious, she asked as she remembered Takuma calling Mina her wife. She started asking many questions which were strange, so Takuma distracted her by saying, "Look out for that cat." Suddenly, she spotted Rihito. Without thinking, she jumped into the water to reach him. Takuma panicked, thinking she couldn't swim, and jumped in after her. To his surprise, Super Mina was walking underwater. Mina received a signal from Super Mina, told Rihito about it, and they waited. Super Mina emerged from the water, tears streaming down her face. Rihito, overwhelmed with emotion, embraced her. Mina and Super Mina then started to exchange information. Even though their communication speed was fast, 5 minutes passed, and Takuma decided to stop them. Super Mina apologized again, saying she was excited to see another Mina. Super Mina then scolded Rihito, asking why he had bad-mouthed Mina's less expressive face earlier. Rihito apologized to Mina. They spent the whole day having fun. In the evening, Akari asked Takuma to take their photo. When Takuma tried to take the photo with the camera, it said the memory card was not there. Takuma searched Akari's bag and inserted the memory card Mina had given her that day. Takuma then tried to take the photo again, but the memory card was full. When Takuma checked it, he found it was filled with pictures of himself, taken by Mina. Realizing that the memory card was from Mina, Akari took it away from Takuma and asked him to use his phone instead. At home, Takuma told Mina that he couldn't get a good look for her face with makeup which was applied by Akari. Mina then started asking many questions, like whether Takuma liked her more with makeup and how much he would rate her. Takuma shushed her and told her to let him take a good look at her face. But suddenly, Takuma fell asleep, exhausted from the day. Mina turned off the lights and decided to sleep next to him, holding Takuma gently this time. The next day, Mina found out that Takuma had a fever, so she advised him to take plenty of rest. She then touched Takuma's face, and when he asked why she was doing that, she explained that her eyes couldn't gather full information, so she was using the sensor in her hand for medical observation. Takuma sat down to eat, but Mina continued checking him, still touching him. She didn't leave his side even when he was brushing his teeth and was there while he was sleeping too. When Takuma started feeling better, they watched a show together. Mina was more focused than usual. The man on TV was talking about his secret to a longer life, receiving a daily kiss from his wife. Mina glanced at Takuma, and seeing her look, he asked if everything was okay. Mina told him it was nothing. The next day, Takuma woke up only to find a big red spot on his forehead. He noticed that Mina was much closer to him than usual. Mina told him that breakfast was ready. Takuma thought maybe the red spot was because Mina had hit him after he had angered her. To make up for it, he decided to help her by doing the dishes. On his way to the kitchen, he bumped into a stool, injuring himself. Mina asked if she could do anything to make him feel better. Takuma jokingly said that a kiss on the cheek would be nice. He wasn't expecting Mina to actually agree. When Mina kissed him, she applied too much pressure, and Takuma was launched backward. He realized the red spot on his forehead was from Mina's kiss. Mina apologized for kissing him without permission. Takuma told her that if she kissed him a little more gently, with less pressure, it would be better. Mina then came closer, asking how much force she should use to be gentle. Since Takuma couldn't explain it, Mina asked him to show her. Takuma kissed her on the lips, but Mina said she believed a kiss on the forehead was better for a longer life. This made Takuma embarrassed. Takuma told Mina that any kiss anywhere would be enough to cheer him up and make him feel loved. He then asked how she felt after the kiss. Mina replied that she didn't have sensors in her lips or forehead, so his kiss just felt like pressure on her mechanical joints. Mina became sad, realizing that the kiss she gave to Takuma wasn't real. Since she didn't have sensors on her lips, all she had done was bump them against his forehead. She apologized for not having a soft membrane on her lips. Mina then asked Takuma if it hurt when she kissed him that morning. Takuma said it hurt a little, but he was happy she had kissed him, even though she couldn't feel anything. He loved her just the way she is. Takuma then realized that Mina had sensors in her hands. He kissed her, and she suddenly murmured, "Oh," and raised her hand above her head. Before Takuma could ask why, the doorbell rang. When he opened the door, it was none other than Super Mina. Takuma asked Super Mina how she found their address. She told him that since the day at the beach they had been exchanging information online. When Takuma asked the reason for her visit, she handed him the Mina series catalog and explained that it was sometimes given as a gift at weddings. Takuma opened the catalog, filled with information about multiple models of Mina robots. He decided he couldn't accept it because he liked Mina just the way she was and didn't want to change her. Super Mina then asked him to look at the back of the catalog, which contained upgrade options for Mina. Takuma saw the deluxe upgrade, which would make Mina like Super Mina, softer and more expressive. However, he couldn't accept it because it was too expensive. Mina was sad, but then Super Mina told them that Rihito's mother was so happy to see their beach video. Since they were rich, giving Mina a deluxe upgrade was like giving out candy. Takuma still couldn't accept something so expensive, as it would take him many years to afford. Mina then tore the catalog into two pieces, giving the first part to Takuma and taking the end part for herself. Takuma tried to stop her, but he paused when Mina checked that married couples usually share half of their assets. She questioned why he wasn't giving her half of his. Hearing this, Takuma stopped and allowed her to pick something from the catalog for herself. Super Mina then showed Takuma the gifts she had brought to celebrate his birthday. She knew his birthday surprise hadn't gone well. Takuma then remembered how Mina had tried to surprise him, but it didn't go as expected. She scared him by disassembling her body parts. Super Mina showed Mina a party popper. When Mina burst it, she suddenly fell to the ground. Takuma tensed, but Super Mina told him it was because Mina's system couldn't process the surprise, and she'd be back in 60 seconds. Hearing this, Takuma felt relieved, as it was all good as long as Mina was okay. Seeing the love between Takuma and Mina made Super Mina happy for them. In the evening, after Super Mina left, Takuma told Mina that they would pick whatever she liked from the catalog, but Mina had already ordered something for herself as a surprise. At dinner, Mina told Takuma that she had received an email from the manufacturer. They would collect her after 1 week and the upgrade would take 2 weeks. The day Mina left for her upgrade finally arrived. Takuma was taking a photo of Mina before she went, and Mina remarked that her eyes had a better camera than his smartphone. However, Takuma insisted on taking the picture of her. After thinking for a moment, Mina went and retrieved a mirror. They both then used the mirror to capture the photo. Takuma asked if this idea had come from the internet, but Mina explained that she hadn't found it online. Instead, she had used Super Mina's smart brain for the idea, as they both are connected. Since Super Mina's brain was so advanced, it often got confused about which features to use, so Mina had helped her select the right one, and in turn, Super Mina helped her use her smart brain. They both helped each other as they were friends. As Super Mina and Mina were still connected, Super Mina became emotional hearing this. Outside the apartment, a woman named Lida from the company and Senju-chan stood waiting. Lida appeared nervous, as it was her first job. She checked the instructions and saw a comment advising them not to tell Takuma about the upgrade. Senju-chan thought the comment might have been made by someone else and not by Mina, as Mina's model was designed primarily as an appliance. They entered the apartment, and after some introducctions, Lida asked Takuma if he had any questions. Takuma then brought up the time when Mina had made him an omelet, and he mentioned how she had written his name on it. Senju-chan suggested that the idea of writing a name could have been something Mina saw on the internet. However, writing Takuma's name specifically was odd, so she believed it could be a programming issue. She asked Takuma for permission to inspect Mina's programming. Senju-chan then asked the Mina to open her head panel, as it was the location of the programming. Mina hesitated and the situation grew tense. Lida explained that it was strange for Mina to write Takuma's name on the omelet, suggesting it might be because Mina still had some memories of her previous owner. Eventually, Mina opened her head panel for the scan. Senju-chan began inspecting her, and Lida warned Takuma that if there were any issues with the programming or coding, Mina might attempt a memory reset. Takuma was horrified by this, realizing that a memory reset would essentially make Mina a new person. Angrily, he asked Lida to stop the inspection, His frustration grew, and it seemed like he might lash out at her. At this moment, Senju-chan intervened, stopping Takuma from taking action. After the situation was under control, Lita apologized, realizing that she hadn't understood just how important Mina was to Takuma, almost like a family. Lita then asked Senju-chan to apologize as well, but Senju-chan replied that she only did what she thought was right, as she was connected to the company's supercomputer, and there was almost no possibility of her being wrong. Lita then ordered Senju-chan to enter sleep mode, as she was going to complete the formalities herself. Takuma asked Lita if Senju-chan was also part of the Mina series. Lita explained that Senju-chan was a robot made for employee support. She had also noticed that Senju-chan could get upset if anything small happened to her, implying a level of attachment. Takuma remarked that it seemed like Senju-chan considered Lita very important. Lita agreed. Lita then told that for the sake of privacy, they wouldn't perform any further memory scans on Mina. She then gave him a re-registration form for Mina, which would allow Mina to receive monthly inspections and memory backups. Lita emphasized that, after them, their company was the only one that treated robots like family. Once Lita left, she asked Takuma to send Mina downstairs. Before Mina left, she told Takuma that she had prepared all the food he would need while she was gone. Takuma became sad, knowing he wouldn't be able to see Mina for a while. In a moment of emotion, Takuma gave Mina a goodbye kiss. She tried to return the gesture, but in her usual manner, she applied too much force and accidentally injured Takuma. Senju-chan, who had been nearby, told Lita that robots like Mina and herself weren't made for love. Lita, however, doesn't think this is true, and told her that she was fond of Senju-chan. Just then, Mina arrived, and Lita noticed that Senju-chan had frozen. Mina explained that her system was unable to process the shock, but she would be back in 60 seconds. It's only been 3 days since Mina left. He feels hungry and takes out some noodles, saying, "Sorry, Mina, I'll eat your food later." After eating, he also snacks on chips and lies down to relax. Just then, a parcel arrives. He sees it's from Ichi Robotics Incorporated and thinks, maybe Mina ordered this. He opens it and finds a robot inside, along with a letter from Mina. The letter says that she ordered the robot for when she's not around, and it will be linked to her. The letter also includes instructions on how to turn the robot on. Takuma follows the instructions and switches it on, and Mina's voice comes from the robot. The robot asks, "Did you eat all this, Takuma?" Takuma apologizes, and the robot tells him to drink plenty of water. Then, the robot asks him to open the fridge and says, "You didn't eat your food." Takuma replies, "I'll eat your food tomorrow, don't worry." Mina tells him that he needs to throw away the food from today as it could harm him. Takuma, feeling happy, thanks her. The robot continues by saying that his breath has a high alcohol content, and Takuma is surprised, asking how it knows. The robot replies that it has high-end sensors to monitor human health. She introduces the robot as Mamoru 3, which is the same robot that cares for elderly people. The next scene shows Takuma bringing groceries, and while cooking, he asks, "Are you going to teach me, Mina?" Mina responds, "That's not possible. I'm a robot, and I'm designed to cook with perfection. Reconstructing those steps for humans would be difficult." She adds, "First make the meat, then the vegetables. I'll turn off my audio sensor, so alert me when it's done by pressing my head." After eating the meal, Takuma says, "It was great, better than I expected." The robot responds, "Anticipated rating based on response, 92. Takuma looks at it and asks what it meant, and the robot replies, "Nothing." Later, as Takuma is about to clean up, the robot stops him. Takuma started saying, "I feel very lonely without you." Mina says just 10 more days, and then adds, "Your body temperature and blood levels are normal." Every day, Takuma continues cooking for himself. As the last 2 days approach, Takuma is asleep when he hears Mina's voice saying, "Takuma." Takuma says, "Her voice sounds a little different." The robot tells him not to stress and asks, "What can I do for you?" Takuma holds the robot's hand and falls asleep. The next day, the robot says, "Good morning," and Takuma again notices its strange voice. He wonders if he should take it to the manufacturer. The robot then comes up to him and hugs Takuma. Takuma thought that the robot was checking his temperature, so Takuma asked, "How's my body temperature today?" But the robot was not checking temperature. Just then, Mina arrives. Takuma says, "You were supposed to come tomorrow." Mina replies, "I told you the wrong day to surprise you." Takuma looks at her and says, "You don't look any different." Mina explains, "I made upgrades and selected replacement parts to improve internal performance." She adds, I was going to select human-like lips for better sensitivity, but since you said my lips were the best, I left them as they were. Takuma then says, Mina, I missed you so much, and tries to kiss her. However, before he can, Senju walks in. They exchange paperwork related to the added features, and Senju asks if there are any questions. Mina asks why the robot is still moving. Senju observes that it's quite strange and asks for permission to check it. Takuma agrees. Senju checks the robot and says, there are some programs I don't recognize. It's similar to a learning program, so it might have learned from Mina's programming and developed its own personality. Takuma thinks to himself, so it's learning from both of us. Senju apologizes and the robot says, Takuma, wake up. Takuma realized that the robot is like a child created by us. Senju suggests reformatting and reinstalling the robot, but Takuma refuses, saying, we'll treat it like family. The next scene shows Mina telling the robot that its high-end sensors are on the tip of its right hand to monitor health. Mina instructed to measure temperature and pulse rate on a daily basis. It then goes to charge, while Takuma is thinking of a name for a robot and is confused as he doesn't have any good name for it. Meanwhile, Mina adjusts her height. Takuma is surprised and asks, did you just grow taller? But Mina acts like she didn't hear Takuma's question. Takuma asks Mina to suggest a name for the robot. Mina says, we can just call it by the product's name. Mina then decides to answer the previous question of Takuma about her height and said, yes, I can increase my height up to 5'8" feet. Mina explains, this is also part of the upgrade and I can grow taller, but I thought you preferred me to be shorter. Takuma says, that's not true, and encourages her to grow. She grows taller and Takuma checks her size. Mina asks, which one do you prefer? Takuma responds, I like both. Mina says, the problem with growing taller is that it creates gaps, and my waterproof rating decreases to 5. Takuma then explains to the robot that its robot's name has been changed to Mamoru, and adds to pays attention to them and learns. Mina suggests that it could improve if they reformat and reinstall its program. But Takuma says he doesn't want to do that. Mina asks why, and Takuma explains, it has inherited your qualities. Mina understands and says, it's a defect, but it looks different from our perspective. Takuma says, I'm happy it's here because it's like our child. Mina starts feeling something, and Takuma calls out to her. She wakes up and asks, Master Takuma, do you like Mamoru this way? Takuma says, yes, and Mina agrees. Then this is enough. The robot starts saying, Mamo, and Takuma repeats, Mamoru. Finally, Mamoru was able to mimic his name. Mina telling Mamoru about the calendar. She says, we will write about Master Takuma's health status here. For today, let's assume his body temperature is 36 degrees Celsius, and tomorrow it will be 37.5 degrees Celsius. Mamoru asks, how can we know tomorrow's temperature? Mina replies, this is just an example. We don't actually know what will happen, but I'm teaching you how to think about it. He has a fever right now, so you should keep track of Master Takuma's condition. Then Mina gets some warm water and cold water, asking Mamoru to put his hand in each. First, he puts it in the cold water. Mina says, this is cold. Remember this feeling. Then Mina asks him to put his hand in the warm water. He does, and it's very hot. Mina says, sorry, it's a bit too hot. Mina then says, now for the next lesson. You will learn how to measure temperature. She tells him to dip his hand in the water again. Mamoru does, and his hand burns. Mina says, this water is 71 degrees Celsius, which is very hot and dangerous. A human's hand can burn at this temperature. Be careful not to let Master Takuma burn himself. And you also have sensors to detect dangerous things. In the next scene, Takuma comes home from work. Mamoru says, I'm home. Takuma replies, Mamoru, you're already home. You should say welcome home. Takuma checks his temperature and says 36.5 degrees Celsius. Mina says, well done, Mamoru. And he dips his hand into the water, but he screams because it's too hot. Takuma tries to help him, but the water spills everywhere. Later, Mina scolds Mamoru. How could you make a mistake measuring the temperature? You were off by 0.2 degrees Celsius. Takuma says he learned all of that in one day. Amazing. Mina replies, Mamoru is still like a thermometer. Takuma says, no need to force it. Mina asks if it's fine this way. Takuma says, it's good, and asks Mina to not be in a rush to teach Mamoru and tells her to start with moderate-level lessons. Mina was not completely agreed, but she can't deny Takuma's request. Takuma then assumed that if Mamoru learned things with this speed, he will be incredible in just 1 month. Mina adds, if we reformat it, it will improve in an hour. Takuma asks, what other features does it have? Mina replies, it has thermographic and ultrasound features. Takuma says, Mamoru once sensed his stress when he was with me. Mina was confused as Mamoru understood stress early on in his learning, which can't be possible, and it is only possible by combining data from multiple sensors. Takuma calls Senju, and Senju says, our robots have internal personality programs for the owner's health and safety, and it can act on its own to protect its master. Takuma thanks Senju and hangs up. He turns to Mina, who then points a knife at him and asks, Mamoru, what do you think about this situation? Mamoru replies, it's dangerous. I will call an ambulance. Mina says, yes, Master Takuma, as you can see, he is aware of your safety. Mina finally understands that Mamoru is better than a thermometer, because no thermometer cares about the master's safety. As Mina was still pointing a knife at Takuma, wonders, what's going on with Mina's safety program? After some time, an ambulance arrives since Mamoru called them. Takuma then sends them away. In the next scene, Mina gives Takuma a wireless charger so she can charge while they sleep. Takuma and Mina fall asleep, but Mamoru comes between them, asking to sleep with Takuma. Takuma suggests an idea, and now all three are together, but Mina pushes Mamoru away. The next day, Mamoru asks, what are you doing? Takuma replies, I'm eating. Mina explains, humans need food for nutrition, and Mamoru starts eating. But as Mamoru is a robot, Mina explains to him that he can't eat as he doesn't have a mouth. Later, Takuma says, I'm going to the bookstore after cleaning up. He asks, Mina, you're the cooking type, but do you do other things too? Mina replies, I can, but I'm made for cooking, so I do related tasks. Takuma says, okay, but just then, Mina takes the vacuum cleaner from him and starts cleaning herself. Then, a voice says that it was coming from Mina. Thank you for using the Mina Cooking Limited Type series. Takuma asks, what's this? Mina replies, it's an additional program to improve task performance. The voice continues, if you purchase the new plugin online, this unit will work even better, and you can turn off this announcement. Takuma asks, will it keep talking like this as long as she works? Mina says, if I do anything other than cooking, it will announce it every minute. Mina tells Takuma, you should go to the bookstore. I'll handle things here since I have a new battery so I can work longer. In the next scene, Takuma is at the bookstore with Mamoru, telling him a story. Mamoru says, violence is wrong. Takuma says, but this is just a fake story, like in movies. Mamoru asks, what's a movie? Takuma then takes him to a movie as Mamoru never watched a movie. Mamoru finds out he needs to know his class first, or he will be treated like a recording device and won't be allowed inside. Takuma and Mamoru reach the health center, and the robot tells Takuma to plug in a device to delete Mamoru's memories only until the test ends. Robot then shows Mamoru a glass and asks, what's it for? Mamoru replies, it's for holding water, which Master Takuma uses to drink. The robot then says, a trolley is moving toward 5 people. You can change its direction, but Master Takuma is on the other side. Mamoru started screaming as this situation is too hard for him to understand. So the robot removes the plug, saying, its thinking ability is like a 4-year-old's, and emotionally it's slower like a 2-year-old's. Surprisingly, it developed a lot during the test. It means it has a very high learning ability. Takuma is shocked after realizing that a robot like Mamoru should be smart, but Mamoru's case is an exception. Then they both returned back to the theater. Takuma told the girl that Mamoru is class 1. The girl says, you need a child ticket, and they go inside to watch the movie as the movie they were watching was of the horror genre. Mamoru is scared, so Takuma holds his hand. After watching the movie, Takuma and Mamoru return home. Mina has cleaned the entire house, and Takuma is happy. Then, the voice from earlier started talking again. Then Takuma asked Mina if she is not cleaning now, so why is the voice still talking? Mina explains, the voice only stops when the owner leaves the hearing range. Takuma has no option left. He says, I'll have to buy that plugin. Then after some time, we see Super Mina saying, Master, I have completed the cleaning, cooking, and laundry. Her master responds, very good, Super Mina. You are truly amazing. I'm so glad I chose you over her. She's nothing compared to you. Just then, we see Super Mina wake up from her sleep. Her robotic companion behind her asks, "What happened, Super Mina?" She replies, "I think I had a terrible dream." The robot explains, "Super Mina, you have a lot of memories stored inside you. Sometimes, when you try to organize them based on priority, the data gets jumbled, and you see it as dreams." Super Mina thinks for a moment and says, "But I don't think this dream came from my memories. I don't even recognize that person. I was calling him Master, but he didn't even look like Rishito." The robot is puzzled. "That can't be. You came straight from the factory to me. You only ever had one master, Richito." Suddenly, a memory flashes in Super Mina's mind. Starts to wonder, could this be Mina's previous master? She then immediately calls Takuma and meets him and Mina and explains everything to them. "When we exchanged brains, maybe our memories got mixed up. Now I have parts of Mina's memories inside me." She apologizes, but Takuma and Mina forgive her, saying, "It's not a big deal," and asks Mina, "Are you experiencing anything unusual with your memories?" Mina shakes her head. "No, I haven't faced anything like that." Super Mina insists. "Then we need to test you, Mina. Tell me, what is your master's name?" Mina confidently replies, "Sako Sugita." Or someone like that. Takuma looks surprised. "Your memories have mixed up, Mina." Mina frowns. "Mixed up? But how?" Takuma explains. Super Mina realizes we need to confirm, so we have to compare our memories. Both Mina and Super Mina sit beside Takuma and begin the comparison. Super Mina asks, "Takuma, do you know who your wife is?" Takuma responds, "Mina, of course." But Super Mina smirks. "What if I am your wife?" She suddenly hugs him tightly. Mina is furious. "Get away from him. How dare you touch him like that?" Super Mina clings to Takuma even tighter. "I can't control myself." Takuma begins to panic. "If this keeps up, I might die." Mina quickly intervenes, prying Super Mina's hands off him. But Super Mina still tries to embrace Takuma. Mina yells, "Think, Super Mina, what is your true purpose with Takuma?" At that moment, a memory returns to Super Mina. In the memory, her master says, "Love a human and let them love you in return." Realizing this, Super Mina calms down. She apologizes to Takuma. Takuma, still in shock, says, "That really surprised me, but I forgive you." They decide to compare their memories on their own. Mina then asks Takuma to leave with Mamoru. By evening, Super Mina was at home. She was hugging her master Rihito and asks, "Does this hurt?" He shakes his head. "No, it doesn't." Super Mina watches and feels relieved. However, Takuma has bruises from Super Mina's grip earlier. Mina comments, "Super Mina's hands are 3 times stronger than mine. She could literally tear you in half." Takuma then hugs Mina, but seeing this triggers a fear in Mamoru. He asks Takuma to not do that, or Mina will explode. Mina smiles and tells Mamoru that humans aren't that strong like them. The robot, confused, asks, "Why do humans like hugging?" Mina explains, when humans hug someone they love, their body releases a hormone called oxytocin. It reduces stress and makes them feel relaxed. Takuma and Mina share a hug again. The next day, Takuma receives a personal call from Super Mina asking him to meet her. When he arrives, she says, "I researched Mina's memories and found out about her previous owner. I even visited his residence and learned that his name was Tanito Kazu. He was a 21-year-old software programmer who worked from his apartment." Takuma asks, "So, did you meet him?" Super Mina shakes her head and told Takuma, "He doesn't exist." Takuma is shocked. Later, back at home, Takuma stares at Mina and wonders, why did Super Mina say that he doesn't exist? What could that mean? Meanwhile, Super Mina has a fever due to processing too much of Mina's memories. She calls Mina and asks, "Mina, can I borrow a part of your brain for a while?" Mina agrees. As Super Mina explores Mina's memories, she is stunned. This memory is huge. Even if Mina were upgraded, she might never reach this storage capacity. She dives deeper into the memories and sees a conversation between a man and another person. "We could have bought a Super Mina instead. Why did you choose this one?" The man replies, "I like robots. I have no problem with her." Super Mina watches as the man approaches Mina and says, "Hey, how are you?" Mina asks, "Are you my master?" He nods. "Yes, I am your master." She looks at him curiously. "You look like a robot." He chuckles. "No, just my hand is robotic." Super Mina realizes, so Mina's master was a robotic developer. In another memory, she sees the same man arguing with someone. Don't load all these human-like memories into it. It's just a kitchen tool. But the master protests. I want to create a humanoid robot. A robot that isn't just a tool, but something that can love and be loved. If you treat it well, it will care for you. If you go through hardship, it will support you. And if its master does something wrong, it will guide them to the right path. In the next memory, the master is in terrible condition. Mina urges him, replace your damaged parts. But he sighs. Humans aren't like robots. Some parts can't be replaced. I don't have much time left. Mina panics. No, you can't leave. She grabs him tightly, but in the process, her own wires get pulled and she shuts down. In the next scene, the master looks at her and says, I'm going to delete all your memories. I don't want you to remember a master who is abandoning you. It's better if you forget me and love someone who will love you back. Then her memory cuts off. Super Mina wakes up, tears streaming down her face. So Mina's master is the one that have created the Mina robot. Mina's memories of him were erased. Even though they are still hidden inside Mina, she can't remember them. Meanwhile, Mina wakes up and sees Mamoru building a castle, with Takuma cheering him on. When they finish, they laugh together, feeling happy. Super Mina smiles and says, even if she doesn't remember him, this memory is so precious. The next morning, with Mamoru telling Mina that he went to watch a movie with Takuma, he is very happy, but Mina says that robots that haven't been tested shouldn't go to watch movies. Then, Mina checks Mamoru's card and asks, did you get tested with Master Takuma? Mamoru replies, yes. Mina takes out her own card, which is a Class 2 card. She explains, Class 1 robots can go to many places with their master, but Class 2 robots can do things on their own. You're amazing, Mina. Mina then says, I'm going shopping. Do you want to come along? Mamoru replies, I can't go outside without a human. Mina says, if you stay in a cage, you can go, and asks him to enter her thermal compartment. As he starts going in, Mina stops him and says, not yet. Come inside after we reach the store. On their way, Mamoru asks, do you know the way? Mina replies, I have a map. As they walk, Mina warns Mamoru to be careful of cars and explains the rules. Walk only on the right side of the sidewalk. Follow traffic signals. Cross only at crosswalks, she says. If you follow these rules, accidents will be reduced. Further ahead, they stop at a pedestrian crossing. Mamoru asks, Mina, what is this button for? Mina reads the sign and presses the button, explaining, pressing this will turn the signal green. Mamoru asks, why didn't you press it earlier? But Mina doesn't reply. A little later, Mina stops again and says, this crosswalk is defective. Mamoru asks, why? Mina explains, there's no pedestrian signal here. Mamoru asks, then how do we cross the road? Mina says, we'll have to go round. Just then, a driver stops his car and signals for them to cross. Mina gives him a thumbs up and moves forward. Mamoru asks, what was that? Mina explains, a thumbs up is a gesture, and he was encouraging us for shopping. Finally, they reach the store. Mina buys her items, but when she comes out, she says, I can't access my map. Mamoru starts worrying, but Mina reassures him, don't worry, I recorded landmarks at every turn. We'll follow them in reverse order. She then says, now we have to turn where the cat is. Mamoru asks, do cats stay in one place? Mina replies, yes. Mamoru says, it must have moved somewhere else by now. Mina realized that the cat might have moved, so Mina then decided to ignore the cat landmark and find the next one. Now they are sitting in a park completely lost. Mina is unable to contact either Takuma or Super Mina. She says, we might have to stay in this park forever. Mina has a solar power feature so she can keep moving, but she is worried for Mamoru as his battery will run out in 40 hours. She then apologized to Mamoru, but Mamoru says, I like sleeping anyway. Mina then says, I'll tell you everything I know in case I shut down first, and starts writing down details about Takuma and his address. Suddenly, Mamoru notices something and says, look, that's the same address written over there. Mina realizes they are in District 4 and they need to go to District 2. They then start searching for their way home, but finally searching for they reach home. At night, Takuma returns and sees on the news that there was an issue with the network, which has now been mostly fixed. However, some areas are still affected. Due to this, Mina's network was down, preventing her from accessing the map or contacting Takuma. As they eat, Takuma tells Mamoru, "I hope one day you'll be able to eat too." Mina replies, "He doesn't need an eating feature." Takuma says, "But I want to install it." Mina argues, "He doesn't need it. He's working just fine as he is." The next scene, Takuma says, "The bathwater is ready." Mamoru asks, "What's that?" Mina explains, "Humans bathe to maintain hygiene." As they take a bath, Mamoru says, "I want to bathe too." Mina warns, "You're not waterproof. Robots should stay away from water unless their waterproof level is high." The next morning, Mina wakes up Takuma. Takuma greets her. "Good morning, Mina. What's for breakfast?" Suddenly, he hears Mina making strange noises. Pee-pee-pee-va. Takuma is confused. Mina then displays a message on a screen. "My speaker is broken." She explains, "There was a gap between my body parts, and water got into the speaker." Takuma says, "Maybe it happened during the fight with Super Mina." He asks, "Are your other parts okay?" Mina replies, "Yes." Then she asks, "Should we bathe together?" Takuma told her not for some time. Mina then told Takuma that her new speaker will arrive in a few days. As it was time for work, Takuma leaves. After Takuma leaves, Mamoru asks, "What will I learn today?" Mina shows him a screen with the word hiragana. Mamoru asks, "What's that?" As he can't read, Mina writes Mamoru. Mamoru asks, "What is this?" Mina points at it. He asks again, "What is this?" Mina keeps pointing at the same thing. Finally, he realizes it says Mamoru, and Mina gives him a thumbs up as a sign of encouragement. Next, and starts teaching him the names of different household items, making him read each one. She is teaching him Japanese letters and then tests him on what he has learned. Mamoru answers everything correctly, and Mina gives him another thumbs up. At night, Takuma comes home and sees Mina communicating through Mamoru. Mina says something, and Mamoru repeats it for Takuma. They have created a unique language that only they understand, where Mamoru acts as a translator. Takuma eats his dinner, feeling that this whole situation is strange. The next morning, when he wakes up, he finds them still talking in their secret language. He remains completely confused. Next day, 3 of them are playing a game, while on the other side, a man is searching for Takuma's house. While playing, Mamoru throws the dice up and hits the light bulb. Takuma then decides to go to the shop to buy a new light. Mina told them, "I am going into sleep mode for charging. When you return, touch my hand to wake me up." Takuma leaves, and the man arrives at his house. As the gate was open, he decided to enter. He realized that Takuma is not home, but as the door was opened, it means that he will be back soon, and hides to scare him. But he notices that the lights aren't turning on. Then he sees Mina and gets scared. However, upon a closer look, he says, "Oh, it's a robot." Does his girlfriend not have a problem with a girl robot being here? Wait, does he even have a girlfriend? He recalls Akari saying, "This place would be great for Big Brother and Mina to have a date," and thinks, maybe I misheard. He then checks the fridge and, upon seeing the food, says, "Looks like he cooks daily. Wait, maybe the robot does." He takes out some ingredients and says, "I'll cook something even better than this robot." Just then, Mina appears behind him and asks, "Like what?" He gets startled and falls to the ground. Mina apologizes. "Did I scare you?" And told him that she woke up because you touched my hand, Mr. Koshiro. Koshiro asks, "How do you know my name?" Mina responds, "Master Takuma told me." Koshiro Ishiro, age 42, single, you run a bar in the neighboring town. He replies, "Wait, why would Takuma tell a robot all this?" Mina responds, "Because I am Master Takuma's wife." At that moment, Takuma returns and smells something. Mina greets him, saying, "Welcome back." Koshiro also says, "Welcome back." Takuma asks, "Uncle, what brings you here?" Koshiro replies, "Oh, nothing. I just wanted to surprise you." He then prepares an omelet for Takuma, who says, "This brings back memories. Thanks, Uncle." After tasting it, he exclaims, "It's really delicious." Koshiro sighs and says, "Takuma, if you keep playing house with a robot, you'll never find a real girlfriend. The way she talks, it's like she actually believes she's your wife. It's unsettling. If she's trying to make you happy, she should stop." Mina calmly interjects, "Master Takuma wished to marry me. It is my duty to fulfill his desires." Takuma firmly adds, "I want us to be married." Koshiro shakes his head. "But if things go wrong, you can't get a divorce. That means she's only equal to a human as long as she's married to you. That's not fair." Takuma, I'm saying this because I care about you. You might enjoy the benefits of this unfair situation, but that's exactly why it bothers me. If you truly see her as your wife, think about this carefully. Mina suddenly reaches for Koshiro's hand. Her voice is steady as she says, I am who I am, whether I am with Master Takuma or not. Koshiro hesitates, then mutters, Can robots even get angry? Mina replies without hesitation, I am not angry, but a married man does not need another lover. Koshiro exhales sharply, then nods. I get it. I'm sorry. The next day, Takuma is lost in thought and then tells Mina, Let's go to my parents' house. I want to introduce you to them. Mina responds, Okay, and changes clothes. Seeing Mina this beautiful, Takuma blushed. They leave. On the train, Mina tells Mamoru to be quiet as he was getting too excited and he obeys. They reach Takuma's parents' house where his mother greets him. Welcome home. I was surprised when you said you were coming. So, is this girl your wife? Mina introduces herself. How are you? My name is Mina. Takuma's mother comments. She is beautiful. Takuma's mother shakes her hand and informs Takuma's father that he is home. His father rushes to him and hugs him. Inside, they sit together while Takuma's mother prepares tea. His father says, I heard she is your wife? Mina affirms. Yes. His father replies, That's between you two. Do what feels right to you. Takuma's mother returns and says, As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. We didn't have high expectations for you to have a normal marriage anyway. Takuma's father jokes, But we would have been happier if you had kids. They laugh. Takuma realized that, to his parents, Mina is just an appliance and he must look pathetic, relying on a robot girl to ease my loneliness. But he can't say they're wrong either. I wish they would treat Mina better, but he is confused to make it happen. His mother asks, Are you staying the night? I'll prepare the bath. Mina asks, Takuma's mother, May I use the kitchen to cook for Master Takuma? His mother says, Can you cook for all of us? Later, Takuma tells his mother, Mina can keep moving as long as there's sunlight. Isn't that amazing? His mother responds, Even though she's just a cooking robot? Takuma says, Yes, and sometimes she even makes dishes that aren't registered in her system. And she also has an insulation function, so if I need a warm towel, it's ready instantly. His mother chuckles. That's convenient? Takuma sighs and thinks, what am I even saying? I'm just listing how good Mina is as an appliance. I'll never change their perspective. But I have to make them understand that Mina is the best wife in the world. But how? He then remembers Mamoru and thinks, I can do it through him. He rushes to Mamoru, but Mina says, he's charging, and Takuma falls to the ground in disappointment. Mina then goes to cook. Later, Emi enters the kitchen and gets startled upon seeing Mina in the dark. She turns on the light, asked, Why didn't she turn on the lights? Mina responds, The light from my eyes is enough. His mother comments, Robots are amazing. She then asks, Even after marrying Takuma, did you find it difficult? Mina responds, I wasn't designed to be a wife, so there are difficulties. Takuma's mother nods. It's the same for humans, yet we live together as a family. Mina asks, What is needed to keep a family together? His mother answers, Effort. Effort is what makes a family. Mina says, I have a little experience with that. Takuma's mother smiles. Then everything will be fine. At night, they all eat together. Takuma's parents praise Mina's cooking. Takuma grins. I told you, Mina is amazing. After the dinner, Takuma introduced Mamoru. He explains that Mamoru is actually a robot designed to take care of elderly people, but for some reason it has inherited Mina's characteristics. Takuma's mother, noticing Mamoru, comments that its laugh sounds just like Takuma's. Takuma protests. Robot cost? Takuma replies that he doesn't know since he received it as a gift, but he can look it up and send the information. His mother then asks a serious question. Since he is Mina's owner, would he be willing to transfer her ownership to her? Takuma, surprised, asks, But why? His mother explains, You own a girl and call her your wife. That's really creepy. Takuma's father intervenes, saying that it shouldn't matter since Mina isn't his real wife anyway, but his mother counters, But Takuma, for you, she is real, isn't she? She then proposes that if this is the case, he should transfer Mina's ownership to her or to his father. Takuma realized that the family is not a property of one, and remembered that his uncle was saying same. So hesitant. says that ownership can be transferred by talking to Mina. They go to her, and Mina immediately states, "I do not recommend this action. The decisions we robots make are based on our owner's rights. If my owner is in another location, I won't even be able to move without their permission." Takuma's mother asks if there's any way to bypass this restriction. Mina explains that it's possible, but there's a chance she won't be able to react immediately in unexpected situations. Takuma's mother then asks if Takuma could be the one making the decisions in such cases. Mina looks to the side before replying, "Yes, that is possible." Sensing her hesitation, Takuma's mother asks, "Do you not like this idea?" Takuma also asks the same, but Mina responds, "I don't have a logical reason." Takuma's mother insists, "Even so, tell us what's on your mind." Mina then explains that robots prioritize human life, but the owner's life takes top priority. If my ownership is transferred to Emmy and a situation arises where both of your lives are in equal danger, I will be forced to save Master Emmy. Master Emmy, please don't take my job away from me. Hearing this, Takuma firmly states, "I don't want to give Mina away to anyone either." His mother sighs and says, "All right." Then Takuma officially designates himself as Mina's primary owner and his mother as the secondary owner. This ensures that if, for any reason, he loses ownership, Mina's memories won't be clear, and if she ever faces issues with her primary owner, she can seek help from her secondary owner. Later, Takuma apologizes to his father, saying, "I'm sorry that I couldn't bring a human wife into the house." His father reassures him, "I'm just relieved to know that you're not alone, but to be honest, I would have preferred a human wife." Takuma adds, "And I won't be able to give you a grandchild either." His father sighs and says, "All right, stop. You already know how things are with humans. Humans are born because of their parents' expectations, their ideas about love. There are always reasons and excuses behind it, but ultimately, it happens because someone wants it to happen. That's why I believe that sometimes saying no thanks is completely fine. Don't overthink what we think." In the next scene, Akari arrives at the house and is shocked to see Takuma with Mina. She exclaims, "So you brought Mina here to introduce her as your wife?" Overwhelmed with emotions, she then notices Mamoru and asks, "Is this the one Mina always talked about?" Mamoru responds, "Yes." Akari, observing Mamoru closely, comments, "It's completely different from the robots in TV commercials." Takuma then explains everything about Mamoru, and Akari is astonished to learn that it runs on Mina's program. Frustrated, she says, "Don't throw so much information at me at once. I'll go crazy." The next day, Takuma and Mina return home. Several days passes, and Takuma's mother ends up ordering a Mimamorius robot for herself. When she turns it on, the robot says, "I am Mimamorius 3, a monitoring robot." She finds its deep voice unexpected. As she reads the instructions, the robot asks, "Please give me a name." She responds, "John." The robot confirms, "All right, I am John." Later, while cooking, John starts giving her health advice and even reminds her to sleep early at night for better well-being. She thinks to herself, "This is not what I expected." It doesn't even laugh like Mamoru. In the next scene, Takuma has moved into a new house. He sets up some boxes to create a game for Mamoru and says, "Start, I'll time you." Mamoru excitedly starts running, while Takuma reflects, "When I told my parents I was moving into a bigger house, they sent all my books, games, and other stuff I had left at my parents' home." Takuma then goes to Mina, and she asks, "Darling, what would you like to eat on your first day here?" Confused, Takuma asks, "What's with this?" Mina explains, "Master Emmy calls Master Daisuke dear. So I researched online and found that there are different ways to address a spouse. Would you like me to search for the one that suits you best?" Takuma sighs. "Aren't you going to ask what I prefer?" Mina responds, "If you give an order, I will follow it." Takuma says, "This isn't an order, but it would be faster that way." Mina nods. "No problem. I've generated a unique algorithm to determine your preferences." Mina then told Takuma that he can't rely on him for the name as he calls every dish prepared by Mina is delicious. She then starts listing different names, and Takuma realizes this might take a while to decide. Eventually, they both go to bed. Takuma thinks to himself, "My new life starts now." Suddenly, Mamoru came into bed between them. Mina looks at him, and unlike last time, she places her hand on top of him and goes to sleep. The next morning, they send pictures to their family and friends, announcing that they've moved into their new home and inviting them to visit. Everyone smiles as they look at the pictures, happy for them. The final scene shows Takuma waking up, and Mina cheerfully greeting him. "Good morning, Master Takuma." He replies, "Good morning. And with that, the episode ends. So guys, here this anime ends. For now, if you enjoyed this anime, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Alright, I'm signing off now. See you in another video.